put our trolling motor battery in here. We built a platform for it. Get this camera stabilized here a little bit. It's just a 2x4 on each side, rubber mat in the bottom, a piece of 5/8 plywood for the tech, and it's normal plywood, it's not treated because we didn't want any chemicals interfering with the aluminum. We didn't stain it because we didn't take the time to research what type of stain we'd have and everything that wouldn't have an interaction with the aluminum, so we just went with the raw wood. And that's pretty much it. That's where we put our charger. We just mounted it there for now. We haven't piped the electric. We're not sure if we're just going to leave it there and pull the extension cord out and plug her up, or what we're going to do. We're not real positive if the battery charger can be left on the battery all the time. As far as just connected, not necessarily charging, but just connected up. Because some chargers in my day used to pull the juice back out of the battery if it was left unattended or left attached. So I don't know if this battery's like that or not, so we've got to call in the tech support to find that out. And anyhow, that's about it. We located the BCD or BC, whatever it is, the monitor, battery monitor system. It's up here. It's kind of dark in here. There's a little bit of light for you. You can see that we had to modify that, and so we could hang it down as opposed to mounting it straight up. It's a pretty nice monitor. Anyhow, we wanted to show that part of it so you can see what it was like before we put it all together. We just side screwed the screws of the 2x4s into the sides of the compartment down there. The thing is hollow. There's plenty of room for screws in there. Hewescraft could actually make that battery well a little wider if they got a notion to. I don't know why they don't, because they could make that a notch out on that side and a notch over there on that side over, and you'd have room for two batteries up there and a third here. It'd make it a really nice situation. But the hull probably gets in there. We have no idea what it looks like underneath the hull. So we can put the circuit breaker over here on the right, and we're going to get some caps to put on those studs. And I'm going to rewire that battery monitor display. I want to get some wrap that wraps the wire. It's pretty fragile wire, and the end of it, I'm not real thrilled with that part of it. The wire actually ends right there. See, they didn't get that in there deep enough, so it doesn't really have any support there, so that's not good. So we're going to have to put some kind of reinforcement on it. Probably just some sort of tape. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. But anyway, that's for another day. We'll deal with it when we got to. And that's it for this part. Okay, there's our problem right there. The wire is just too far out, so we're going to take this all apart in an effort to see if we can't get it to go back in there. These are teeny weeny little screws here. There we go. It's not a good thing to do to something. Okay, what we did is the excess wire, hopefully this can be seen, we curled it around a little bit to bring the cable up into it. Then we put this zip tie on it to strengthen it, because it sits like this and bounces all day. So now we're going to put it in some wrap here, Amazon style.
Split sleeving.
We have been paying a fortune for this stuff, and I don't know why, because we...
At the local auto parts store.
Yeah, I think this whole 25-foot piece costs about $8 or something. The auto parts store, it was like $22 for a 10-foot 10-foot piece. Yeah. That's nuts. Take that on down through the center of the table.
Okay.
Okay, now let's make sure we wrapped it. And we did. Okay. Boat ever catches fire, this smoke off this stuff will kill us.
I got enough in there.
No doubt. That's what gets a lot of people.
A bit left.
Yeah? $8 to wrap a wire. Okay. We be there. Hold this. Pull on it.
You're needy.
Yeah. Just had another hand. Alright, that's it. All wrapped up and secured. And we can go put it in our sheet metal environment. Okay, here's the last and final part of this video on the battery installation for the trolling motor. That's how it came out. So everything looks pretty good. We chose this battery because it fit. We couldn't get another 36 volt battery in there, period. No singular ones. There just wasn't room for that between the height that we had and the depth that we had. The width was fine, but that's the biggest reason we wanted this battery. It was a one and done situation. We don't have to have batteries on either side, and of course more weight. So I think this thing was right around 77 pounds. And of course we added about 5 to maybe 8 pounds with the plywood, which we would have had anyways, no matter what battery system we put in there. That would have been another addition. And we got the BMS battery monitoring system wire. We fixed that, if you've seen it in the video. We ran it up the fuel vent hose tube. It runs up alongside. We balled up the extra cable over here that goes to it. Light that light up there for me, Donna. And I'll follow you. It just runs right up that tube up until the corner of the dash, runs up that corner pillar, comes up into here, and terminates behind at the meter. I can't get the camera up in there to show the actual connection, but we tied it off so it'd have to be supported so it wouldn't be getting stressed out by the weight of the cables. And see, that pretty much covers that stuff. The battery hookups, we still haven't contacted the manufacturer yet, so we just take this and disconnect it when we're not charging it, so we leave it loose until we know that we can hook it up. And the charger, we just leave it down here in the floor of the thing. So we got that. Hopefully you out to see that connector. I don't know if I got it in the camera shot or not, so I'll show it to you again. So that's it. The charger left mounted where you saw that in previous videos. And we're still just going to pull the cord out and plug it in and charge it. We haven't decided what we're going to do with that yet, whether we're going to put a separate plug in the one it came in for it. If we put 2 plugs in the back, we may get confused sometimes and maybe plug this in when we don't mean to. So I want to avoid that. I may end up putting that thing, light me up over here, Donna. Over here in this corner in that kick port. Can you bring that down so we don't get that shadow? There we go. So we might put it in that one corner and run a cord and just plug into it. And the other thing, I screwed up on one thing. We mounted our breaker on the right side because we wanted to have, to open the door, reach in and get the breaker. We didn't want to put it over here. And when I mounted it over here, that got kind of stupid because, don't need to light that up right there. These 3 screws that stuck out. Hope you can see that. They stuck out and they were hitting my door. So I had to get a, what they call a sec screw and put in there for that lower one. That's here. See if I can get that in the shot. Here, here, and here. That's the breaker. So the one clears. The main one, that's no problem. The second one in, that's really close, and that third one just wasn't having it. So it was that or move the doors over a little bit, and I don't want to go through that, so we just put that sec screw in there. And I know I got a good habit of saying that's it, but I believe that's it. So these 2 wires just run up to the trolling motor. You've seen the connector videos, I hope. And That's pretty much the end of it. Now, we haven't waxed this case yet, but that's what we did in the old days, back when everything, your battery chargers and things that were mounted on board, they were all in metal cases, so this didn't bother me too bad. But if you take some car wax and put that on there nice and thick and let it dry and do not buff it off, you just leave it on there, that'll prevent that cabinet from rusting out. And that works in a saltwater environment. That's where I was in Florida in saltwater, and I use that quite a bit, and it works very well. So you might want to try that. I think I used to use that turtle wax hard shell. I don't know if they still make it or not, but I've got some of the chargers and things that I had, and they're still great. They don't look pretty because they got wax smeared on them, but they're great. So I believe that would probably suffice. We'll find out. I'm not going to do the inside of this. I used to literally take those chargers apart and wax the inside of them too. I'm not going to do that with this because I don't want my warranty violated. And I've also contacted, or we're contacting, the company that made this battery to see if they've got any internal shots of it, because I didn't want to take it apart like you see a lot on YouTube where people take the whole thing apart to show you what's all in it, because I didn't want to get my warranty violated. And I don't know that they do that, but I also want to make sure I maintain that factory sealed, because there's still a spark environment. This boat's got 90 gallons of gas in it, and we could one day have a gas leak we don't know about. So anything I can keep sealed, I want to keep that way. That battery charger, by the way, it is completely sealed from checking it all out. It's got a couple of vent pipes on it that they close up. So aside from that fan, I don't think there's anything externally. And the fan is a brushless fan, I believe, so I don't think that would have sparks and bangs in it. So it seems to be a really quality system. We bolted the batteries down with T-bolts, stainless steel T-bolts. So we put those in the panel before we mounted it, obviously. That way we don't have any nuts and bolts to deal with. So we just got some washers and lock washers on the top bolts, and that's it. It's a pretty stout mount. I don't believe it's ever going to be going anywhere. Okay, I want to include some more shots of this thing about the clearances that we've got. Doing this by hand, so I don't know how good it's going to be. But that'll pretty much show you the clearances we got here with the battery installed. Okay, we got about 5 to 6 inches clearance between the top of the battery and that heat duct line. The battery's supposed to be rated to go up to 140 degrees. So with the heater going in the middle of the winter time, it could possibly get up there pretty good because those heat ducts get pretty hot. But this boat's a gigantic water-cooled heat sink, so I don't suspect it's going to get anywhere near that temperature up in there for any length of time. If you were concerned about that, you could always open one of these doors up. So that's the conclusion of it, guys. That's the whole thing. I can't think of anything else to tell you. If you've got any questions, put them in the video. And well, Donna's pointing at that BMS up here. We didn't light that up for you. We'll show you that. That's how we ended up mounting that. The BMS, that's a metal case. So you get it in the frame here. That's a metal case. So we had to, it was designed to build down and fold up. We took the unit out of it and rotated it so we could get it into this, so we could dangly down it, hang it down. It works really well. It's visible all the time. You have to kind of push it with your fingernail to get it, which is going to pop that membrane if that continues. But the get that glare off of it there a little bit. Yeah. It's at a 70% charge right now because we plan on being in dry dock for the next few weeks. So we took it out last weekend and we ran the battery down to 70%. That's supposed to be a good standby voltage for us. So you don't want to leave them at 100%. You don't want to leave them below 20%, is my understanding. So we're trying to adhere to all that. Anyhow, that's if you can read the readings on there. That's where she's sitting right now. And I don't know if it shows any cycles. We've charged this thing one time so far. We'll post that in the video.
One cycle.
Yeah, one cycle. So we actually did that initial charge that night just to check it out, and then it didn't show any cycles, so we ran the trolling motor 2 Saturdays in a row, probably about 5 hours per weekend per Saturday, and it took all of that to bring this thing down to 20%. To when we full charged it, well, excuse me, I'm gonna have to take that back. I can't remember now what it took. We've got videos on it, but we went a Saturday or two to run it down. Then we brought it back in, we charged it up. I'm getting glare on my thing there. We brought it back in and we charged it up to 100%, and then last Saturday we took it out, and it took several hours to run it down to the 70% you see on it now. So so we knew we were going to go in storage. We didn't want to get it to that. Here's page 3. I'm going to back up here and give you page 1. That's page 1. So we're at 70%. Hopefully you can read all that. There's 2. That shows the maximum temperatures, minimum temperatures, and how many cycles. And it's showing the one where we did a full cycle. The cycle on these batteries is a full charge and a full discharge. So when you go up and down, like if you let your battery go down to 50% and you charge it up, it's going to take it up 1 cycle. But it has to go up and then down in order to obtain a cycle. Or I should say down and then up. So a cycle is not a charge up and a charge down. That would be 2 cycles. It's not how it works. It works with a...
and that shows it balancing the cells.
Yeah, this is the balance of the cells. The blue shows the lowest cell, and the green shows the highest cell.
And it changes all the time. It does a real good job at keeping them balanced.
It does. It does really good. We had a golf cart previously that we paid like $500, $400 and some dollars for a
battery
meter.
Maintainer thing.
Yeah, a battery maintainer meter like this. And it worked real well too. That was our first experience with it, and we were really surprised when this thing just came out of the box doing that. So I guess that's a lithium thing, I'm not sure. But that's the whole 9 yards. This thing seems to come on too, like when you're running the trolling motor, it comes on and lights up and stays running pretty much all while you're running the trolling motor. And that's it, folks. Hopefully you got that. If you got any questions, chime in on the comment section and we'll do our best to answer them for you.
But we're liking it so far.
Yeah, we are really liking it. It's running this trolling motor like a beast. I mean, it's not suffered anything anywhere. Neither is this trolling motor. This trolling motor is pretty cool. We haven't had any current yet to run it in.
We had wind. To
speak of, we had a buttload of wind. But, you know, add the wind with the current. It seems to drag the boat down the lake about 4.5 miles an hour real easy. And we got no complaints on it so far. We had a problem pairing the trolling motor with the chart plotters, and we finally figured out that if you power up the chart or the trolling motor first, you have to turn your battery on, turn on your trolling motor, and then power up your chart plotters. The chart plotter will recognize it once it's been paired to it, of course. But if you don't do the trolling motor first and you turn on the chart plotters first, the chart plotter won't recognize the trolling motor if you turn it on later.
And you got to repair it.
And then you have to repair it, and that's a pain in the butt. So we finally got a chance to talk to Garmin, and they confirmed that, but we'd already learned that. We kind of told them what we learned, because he asked if we had paired it yet, and I told him the story of what we learned on that. So that's been pretty flawless. I mean, we've not had any problem with the remotes. The rest of it, the remote kind of sucks, which I think I put that in there. Where is the remote, Don? We'll get that out before we see out of the way here.
Yeah, we moved from the battery to the trolling motor.
Yeah, the remote's got a couple of issues, and it's not issues; it's design flaws. It's, you know, in my opinion. She's turning it on. The display on it, when you look at it in the cabin, is dark. You know, the camera's doing it some justice right now. It is on,
if you hit
right?
that button, it lights it up.
Yeah, if you hit a button, it lights it up, but it's still lit up very dim. But if you take this thing out in the lake in the daytime, you can see in some of our videos, you get it pointed at a light. It's not really reacting in here like it does to sunlight. When sunlight, this thing lights up like a Christmas tree. Yeah, that kind of puts a lot of glare on the screen. Hold the light still and I'll move this. Yeah, it puts so much glare on it you can't see it. But in the sunlight, this thing lights up beautifully. but you literally have to point the face of it toward the sun. And if it's an overcast day, you don't get to do that too much. The other thing about it is when you're using the gesture control, it's pretty cool, and it really works awesome. And as long as you hold the remote properly. If you hold the remote kind of level, or actually any axis you want, but you have to maintain that axis, you push this button and you move it, and it totally responds to it all while you're holding that button. But if you roll it, if you happen to roll it while you're moving it, the trolling motor will get kind of hinky on you. So that's not so cool. So that's a learned thing. Once you learn to maintain a level kind of a surface with it, just to keep it straight. It doesn't have to be level fore and aft. It's just got to be on the roll of the thing. It has to be like that. So it must affect the compass or something. But the trolling motor gets real jerky. Like if you were panning across here and you rolled it like that, the trolling motor will go ring. It's just pretty crazy. So that's the only thing we found so far that we don't like about it. And that's learnable. You know, we can combat that because we got just a minor learning curve. So aside from that, it's worked great. So we're going to cut this off and try to get it published here. And happy Easter, everybody. Easter's coming up Sunday. This is Friday.
Good Friday.
Yeah, Good Friday. So y'all have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Okay. Today we're charging the battery for the first time. We ran it down over the last 2 weekends. We fired it up at 8:30. That was about 7-8 minutes ago. We got 67 degrees on the battery. Charger was about 71 now. I didn't check it just before I plugged it in. It ran about a minute before I plugged it in. It started out at 20% capacity and it went to 22% very quickly, like within a few minutes, which is where it's at now. And it says it's got 4 hours and 9 minutes time to fill. We'll see how that all works out. Not much more to say about it. Well, right now we're just running it off an extension cord to the charger unit. We put the cable out of the charger. We hooked it up to the charging port. That would be this guy here. So we're not going to leave it unhooked until we talk to the tech support people, or attached actually, you know, full time, and find out if it draws power back out of the battery. For now, we're just going to disconnect it every time we charge it. And that's it. We'll let her know. The progress report here. We're going to try to do this every 30-minute increments. Okay, I had to do it. 8:46. It's 25% charging. 4 hours, 2 minutes time to full. 20.6 for current. 20.61. Don't know what all that means, but anyhow, so the next check. Okay, it's 8:49. We haven't started this up too long ago, but give you a shot at this battery charger. Running at 81 degrees at this point. 84. It's like the hot spots in this left front. Be the right bottom. This thing was sitting the way it's supposed to sit. Oh lordy. That's pretty cool. Battery temperature is still 69 degrees. I'm going to check in later. Get a chance. Okay, it's currently 9 o'clock. It's been running for 30 minutes. It's at 29% charging. If anybody knows what this all means on here, chime in. Here's page 2 and page 3. Okay. Check the charger temperature and the battery temperature.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Battery temperature sitting on 66, 67 degrees. Charger temperature is sitting around 78 to 83, 89 right there in that corner. How accurate this thing is. This is all in Fahrenheit, by the way. And that display up there is in Celsius. I'm not a Celsius guy. And that's it for the 30-minute wonder here. Shut this stuff down. See you in 30 minutes. We don't forget. Okay, we're rolling up on 9:30. Let's see here. 9:29 right now. I'm gonna check some readings again. She's up to 38%. That's the stats on the situation. It's 38%. Okay, I'm gonna check our temperatures again. Oh, Lordy. Okay, the case on the battery is right at 71 degrees. Let's see any kind of hot spots on the case anymore. Charger. Calibrating is stuck. My thermometer, millimeters locked up. This thing does that a lot. I thought when I bought a snap-on it would be a little more quality. I think I wished I would have bought a clear. There we go. Holds her own now. Okay, showing 82 degrees. This nice bright hot spot here. It's 191. At the top, bottom right corner be 92, 85 at the bottom left corner. We use these corners if this thing was mounted vertical. There you go. Well, anyway, that's where we're at. It's at 9:30. This has been charging now for about an hour. I think we started out about 8:43 at 24%. 8:30 it had 20%. So it has been an hour. That's about it. Okay, we started out about 8:30 at 20%. 9:30 we're at 38%. And that's about it.
Oh, I had to turn it around to get it big. You just zoomed up on it.
Correct. touch it.
Yeah.
That's that.
It's at 75% now.
Okay. I'm 75%. This is 11:30 now. This thing's been on the cooker for I don't know how long.
Since 8:30, 3 hours.
8:30? We started out at 8:30. At 20% it had. And it's now 11:30. And it's at 75%. That's that page. Page 2. Page 3. Hopefully this thing focuses for you. And back to page 1. Now we're going to do some thermal things here. Just been baking for, what did we say now? How many hours?
3 hours.
3 hours. So we got 76 degrees on the battery case. 77 at the top. That's logical. It's probably room over the room. 7982. And some more. Oh, the 82 is the actual ground wire going into the from the charger. Here's a positive wire. It's at 82 degrees. Yeah, you can actually see the power wires from the charger all glowing in the heat. Yeah, that's pretty warm. Yeah, showing that they're warm. And there's the charger. 85 degrees there, and this bottom corner is 95 degrees. It hasn't varied a lot throughout the duration so far. 86, so that's pretty cool. Okay, it is now, let's see here. It's now 12:03. We got 85% charge. That's window number 1. There's 2. And there's 3. So we're at 85%. Okay, it is now 12:34. And a little bit late. And let's get back to their page 1. We're at 100%. According to the BMS. I'm not sure what the time frame on this is. We're going to call this 12:30. We're just running a couple minutes late here. Okay. Uh-oh. Crashing and burning all this stuff. Get some final checks here before we undo that thing. We still got a red light on the charger though. The BMS says 100%. So that's not cool. Okay, we still got a red light on the charger. Siri, take screenshot. Okay, we still got a red light on the charger, so I'm not really sure whether to go by the BMS or go by the charger. But when we get our initial charge, and turn this battery on to get it going, it would go red, and then if you stood there, actually it would go green, and then if you stood there a few minutes, left it attached to it, it would go back to red. So it was toggling every couple of minutes from red to green, so we'll have to stand here with it and see if it does that toggle thing. Meanwhile, I'll take some more temperature readings. going. There we go. Okay, our battery case is around 75 degrees. 76. Charger is at, let's see, we'll get that bottom right corner. We're at 95 degrees. Other parts of the, there's 82. That corner is 83. This is 87. You know, the inner workings of this thing that gets hot is way down there. Hopefully I had that in the screen. The screen keeps going off in the GoPro. So anyhow, not sure whether we ought to conclude it from the BMS or from the battery charger. So we're going to give that charger some time to see what it does before we shut it off. Okay, the charger is still charging, it's still red. The BMS says it's at 100%.
Wow.
So I don't know which one to go by though. Which one do you?
It ought to be done by about 1240 to 450, you said.
Well, yeah, whatever that is. There's a red light on the charger. So do we go by the BMS and pull the plug, or do we go by the charger and wait for the green light? You remember that first time we put the charger on it, it would toggle from red to green?
So do we need to wait for the charger to turn green?
That's my question.
Well, I don't know.
I would think you would. I'm not sure what to do here. I mean, not everybody gets a BMS.
Yeah,
So if you didn't have one, all you'd have to go by would be the charger.
I would think.
So jump on my app here and put this screen to never. I'm going to stop this recording and then we'll change over to a new battery. Okay. Currently, we got 100% on the BMS. We got 20.54 current, 41.71 voltage, 32.30 for Celsius temperature. And it says time to full at 0 hours. We've got a chart here. And this chart says 40.3 volts is 100%. So technically, we're overcharging our battery right now, I would think. But our charger still has a red light. So we're not sure what to do about that, whether to make the charger the king of the decision or the BMS.
Now this says rest voltage. The voltage needs to be tested at rest with 0 current after 30 minutes of disconnecting from the charger and load.
Right, so that makes me think we should rely on the charger, because it may when it comes to rest, it means the voltage may fall. That's what makes sense to me. So I don't know whether I'm cooking the battery now or what.
Let's see if it says anything about charger. Battery charger. Estimated charging voltage between 43.6 to 43.8.
43.6 to 43.8. So that's what we should be getting in that BMS meter then? Something between 43 and 46?
That's what it says.
43 and 46.
43.6 to 43.8.
Well, it's going up. It's 41.31 right now. So that makes sense to me, because you always have to overcharge batteries to get them to fall back to their normal battery.
Let's see here. 5 hours yet.
Even though it says
If you have
100%.
it 50 amps around 2 hours and 20 amps around 5 hours.
Right, we have a 20 unit.
I guess it's coming after it turns green.
So when it turns green, that'll be probably falling into that voltage. That's my thought. So the charger's going to be the king here.
That's what I think. According to the coil.
Okay. we're gonna let her sit for a while. It's right now, it is 3 minutes after 1.
No, it's
Or,
about
excuse me.
11 to 1.
12 minutes to 1. 11 minutes to 1, the Queen says. So we're gonna go with that. We'll see what we get. We'll have to kind of babysit
5
this.
hours
So.
from 8:30 would be like 1:30, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't think you can, that's a time, you know, kind of a
around
frame.
5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can call that gospel. We'll see what happens. We'll chime back in here once we make a decision on what to do. But I believe at this point the decision is going to be we're going to wait for that light right there to turn green. So, okay, bye-bye. Okay, 1 o'clock. This bad boy shut off. I'm not sure what all this status KOV means. COV. It achieved a voltage. It's at 41.15 and 17 right now. The charger completely shut off. Well, now it's just toggled back on here and it's turned off. We've left the charger on it for lack of what to do, and I was writing all this data down. So if you continuously leave the charger on, it'll just toggle back and forth. And I believe what it's actually doing is it's just sampling the electricity in it. But it cuts off to the green light. When the green light comes on, the fan quits. Life's good. Leave it on there 4 or 5 minutes. It'll come back on. And of course it's gonna go back green again here in a minute or two. So she's done. At any rate, I can't be happier with this thing. I mean, it's as advertised. It's everything that XRH New Energy said it would do. I mean, it's one of the first products I've ever had a book on, and the stats that came out of the book actually worked with the product. This is pretty cool. So anyway, that's going to be about it for our first time charging test.